Mark Hamill's crash out is complete now, and it's interesting because even with how ridiculous he's gone on Blue Sky, which I'm going to show you guys just how he lost his mind last week, he knows that Disney Star Wars is a train wreck. He knows there's no benefit to it. He knows that it's just hurting his career, if anything else, and it's hurting his legacy at this point. He's come back as Luke Skywalker, of course, a couple of times. The most famous in The Last Jedi, where he's a miserable old kook. Wow, who's like just out of his mind and hates everything. Wow, it's almost like it's a self-insert. And that's exactly what wrecked the character, because unfortunately, Luke Skywalker was a character about hope, about optimism. He was an everyman's character, right? And he was it was a white boy summer kind of event in Star Wars, where any white boy could farmhand could go out there and adventure and become the hero of the universe. It really related very, very well. And when you took that and you turned it into the nonsense that they did with Disney Star Wars, made him into this worthless, nihilistic nonsense guy, so that the new girl could be even better because she's female, then it's dead at that point, and they killed it. Now they of course trotted him out in The Mandalorian for a little bit, and what a train wreck that was too. In retrospect, at first it was like, oh wow, Luke Skywalker's coming and he's gonna train Baby Yoda, the Circle, wow, and then they just abandoned that because it's like, oh, we can't have Grogu out of the show. I mean, that's the most important part. He's going to abandon his Jedi training. And that was the end of that. And so that, because the writers didn't have a plan, screwed that up as well. So that's the past, and that's where we're at with Star Wars with Mark Hamill at this point. And I think that it's sinking even worse, because we have some indications on top of this on how ugly it gets. But if even Mark Hamill's out, there's massive problems. Let's get into this news. Please hit the like and subscribe button. I am a science fiction writer, and I appreciate you guys being here. If you like my thoughts on writing and like my thoughts on science fiction, you are going to love my Justified Saga of the Nanos Templar. I took things, and my problem with actually the Jedi in general is that their whole deal is like, we're going to be passive. We're just going to let this happen, and we're just going to let the Force do what the Force does. And, of course, that leads to them all getting slaughtered and all these terrible things. So I took, and I'm like, what if, you had some active, and, what if we just made some crusading in space with this? And it was a lot of fun. So I made a trilogy that's a beautiful, beautiful book series you're going to love. It's high T action adventure, the opposite of everything Mark Hamill's been doing in recent years, and good stuff that you're going to enjoy. You can see that we've got huge ratings on Amazon, and it's available on ebook, print, and audio to make it easier for you. So you can check out the whole trilogy today. It's in the description below. Support alternative science fiction. This is how we have to build the future, my friends. Grab this today. Start reading. Thank you so much for being here, and let's get into this news. So Mark Hamill said he's done playing the character. He spoke to comicbook.com, and he said that he would return to play Luke Skywalker as a Force ghost in upcoming films such as New Jedi Order, and asked if he would do that. He said, I'm so grateful for George Lucas for letting me be a part of that back in the day, the humble days when George called Star Wars the most expensive, low-budget movie ever made. We never expected it to become a permanent franchise and part of pop culture like that. But my deal is, I had my time. I'm appreciative of that. I really think they should focus on the future and all the new characters. They need to reset everything. Oh my gosh. And by the way, when I disappeared in The Last Jedi, I left my robes behind. There's no way I'm going to appear as a naked Force ghost. That's pretty funny. So very different than his Blue Sky personality when he's given this interview about Star Wars. It was rumored last May that he would return to the film with WDW Pro, saying the source says that Favreau, when he came back on Star Wars, came with Disney and Lucasfilm particularly, thought he could help. And he says that you can expect this movie to be a return to quality of the first two seasons, but, and this is for The Mandalorian and Grogu, most importantly, you might even consider this a Luke Skywalker movie. He continued, my source says the delay from 2025 to 26 was largely because they did not believe that the level of Luke Skywalker that they wanted to use would be able to be completed in CGI with realistic appearance and all that in the time frame that was given. He realizes this reaction to Luke Skywalker from the second season. He wants that again for the movie. And a lot of people, I remember when the second season came out, they were like, there's hope for Disney Star Wars after all. But the problem, of course, is now that that's set in that time period leading up to The Last Jedi and all that, because it's still there. And you can never erase that. Star Wars is not this like multiversal thing where you can unfortunately, I mean, if they would have done a weird different timeliney thingy, wibbly wobbly, maybe they could have salvaged things, but it didn't work out very well. And so it looks like this was a scoop that was not true, or maybe they were in discussions about it, and Mark Hamill doesn't want to do it now because Mark Hamill's busy after all. And this is where it gets crazy. I guess this is his deal now. Look at this, like Boomer Caps, President Dementia, Commander-in-Chief, Fatty Shack, Ayatollah Complaint, Tannibal Lecter, Scammy Davis Jr., Rich Little Hands, Hippopotamus, Our Fondling Farter, Trumplet Stiltskin, Hungry Hypocrite, Dictator Tot, Uncle Scam, Quid Cronover, Mango Mussolini, Francis Ford Gropola, Alexander Scamilton. Oh, there's more. C.A. Alcaporn. Okay. Julius Squeezer, the Shart of the Deal, Mayor McCut the Cheese, Groper Cleveland, Sleepy Don Zales, Burger Gene King, Donnie Napleseed, Yabba Dabba Doof, the Majesty, Genghis Khan, Donnie D. Cups, Donye West. Donye West is pretty funny. Donald Duck with the Draft, Kim Don-un, the Notorious P.I.G., Herr Mussolini. Oh, there's more. To me, he's the orange atrocity, but Don Corleone, our smelly Napoleon Bonespur, Fiberface Commander and Thief, Noster Dumbass, El Pork Chapo, MAGA, there's Teresa, MAGA Teresa. I mean, some of these are not even insults at him. It's really funny. All Capstan Kangaroo, Count Flatula, Founding Farter, Teddy Doosevelt, Gaseous Clay, Dopey McGropey, Leprechaun Man. Whew. I'm surprised I was able to get through that. But holy crap, what a meltdown this last week. I guess this is more important to him than the roles, which just goes to show how badly Disney screwed the pooch. Because if Disney was doing things right, if it was going well, if it was actually building his brand, building his legacy, building the culture, you know anybody would want to be a part of it. The only reason somebody says no at this stature is at a point where you go, okay, this is not actually going to be good. And this is exactly what we're seeing these days. Look at this. Andor showrunner implies Disney's run out of cash. The company told him streaming is dead. This is pretty crazy. Now, Andor was supposed to be a 5-season show. They cut it down to 2, if you guys didn't realize. They put all the weird woke stuff in it. And it's so sad watching so many people who were fighting the culture war at this point, just like, if anything's just like even like decently written woke, they ignore the woke at this point. It's so bad. But they had, of course, the lesbians making out in this new season for everybody to enjoy. Yay, please clap. It's Pride Month. And so, interesting stuff. Tony Gilroy implied that they're out of funds. While promoting the show, it was originally conceived as 5 seasons, cut down to 2 seasons. He says Lucasfilm executives informed him streaming is dead. IndieWire reports that in an appearance on ATX Television Festival, he was asked about including the word genocide in the show. If he thought it was carefully about using it, he said ultimately yes. And then he was pressed about, whether it was cool to include it. He said it was pretty effortless. He said after further press, he said, it's really sad how many people can find a place to put this word someplace that's meaningful for them. And, I've been allowed to start using the word fascism the last couple of weeks. That's liberating. Oh, boy. Because I don't think it should be any surprise or too slippery or complicated for people to understand the road I have to walk to do all this, to maximize the audience and protect the investment of a really brave company. Oh, yes. From there, he revealed they spent $650 million on the 2 seasons of the show. 24 episodes. I never took note. We said F the Empire in the first season, and they said, can you please not do that? In season 2, they said, streaming is dead. We don't have the money we had before, so we fought so hard about the money, they never cleaned anything up. That freedom comes with responsibilities, but it's sad how many people can find a place to put genocide into their vocabulary. I don't think you need me to say anything else, too. So, wow, what a bury of the lead right there that this guy did, because he's going off on, whether Disney's censoring his works and all that to try to tone things down. And he ultimately, no. Of course, this was a big anti-Trump allegory of a season with, Bix becoming like a illegal immigrant farm worker. It was super cringy. And we know exactly what they're trying to put into this. We know that the Andor actor went on to live stream shows and started just lambasting Trump as well. And so, but they tried to tone it down. They said, but not really. And here it is. Streaming is dead. We don't have the money we had before. And that's what's happening across the board here, because they've blown so much. I mean, it's not just this, but think about what they blew on Ahsoka, what they blew on The Acolyte, what they blew on, remember Secret Invasion, the Marvel thing? None of it actually panned out at all. And so Disney's really being forced to dial things back. And it's dying because of the way that they've mishandled this property, mistreated everything, and of course insulted the fans' intelligences along the way. Now, having a Mark Hamill out there doing this crap does not help at all. Does it make you want to watch Star Wars ever again? Not really. It's not very heroic. It's just painful. And so all of this combines, and it does just tune out half the audience that, of course, Disney's audience used to be a family audience. That was a big mistake to try to ditch that. Adding in F-bombs and all that to Star Wars, not a good idea. And so this is where they got the final result, and it's over. And even Mark Hamill's out, my friends. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Check out our books if you enjoy my thoughts on science fiction and the like. I think you'll enjoy this. It's in the description below. Thank you very much, guys, for reading. We'll be back soon.